As I arrived at the train station, backpack hauling behind me, I waited with my ticket in a corner so I wouldn't be in the way of the mass of people. I was scared that Midoriya wouldn't show up. Even when we were ditching school for this, possibly going on our permanent record, I had Sue and Uraraka cover for us. I couldn't trust Katsuki to keep our secret. As I waited, slightly praying that Midoriya would arrive, I looked down at my phone. The image of Todoroki being attacked by the villain, clearly being taken quickly on an iPhone by a bystander. The mark on the evil lady's face sitting. My thoughts everywhere. "Hey," was all I heard before averting my eyes up to the voice. "Midoriya, you came," I explained as a large smile spread across my face. "Of course, why wouldn't I be here?" he asked, tilting his head. "Well, I thought you might not even show up because you didn't want this to go on your permanent record," I mumbled to the ground, not making eye contact, and he lifted my chin to make me look at him. "You are really invested in this. I want to help support you through whatever is going on, because that's what friends do," he said, smiling. A weak smile spread across my face, too. How I had not met this boy earlier? God-forsaken me. "You know what? You can call me Ian," I told him, feeling that he valued our friendship just as much as me. I saw his eyes light up before saying, "All right then, Ian. You are allowed to call me Izuku from now on," he said, laughing a little. "Sounds good to me, Izuku," I said, mocking him because, well, it wouldn't, causing us to both laugh. Just the two of us. We made our way around the station and picked up milkshakes before heading over to get ready for boarding the train. Izuku's perspective. My eyes trailed over to Yin as she began to smile like an idiot for no apparent reason. "What's so funny?" I asked her, wondering why she was giggling. "Because of how crazy we are," was all she responded with, as we began to get on the train as the doors opened. "How so?" I continued, wanting to know more. "Well, we secretly going on a train halfway across the country to go to a hospital to see Todoroki and ask him about how he was almost murdered," she explained as we took our seats. This made me begin to smile too. I guess you're right. We are crazy. I looked out the window, seeing Yin open her bag in the reflection. She pulled out something and placed it on her lap. I then see her take her straw out of her milkshake as she leaned over to me. I turned to her to see her take a little bit out of mine. The chocolate milkshake with a spoon at the end of her straw, and place it in her drink. I looked at her as she held her drink out. I did the same with her milkshake and placed a bit of her strawberry milkshake on mine. "I would ever you put a drink on your milkshake." We swirled the straws a bit to mix them in, and we both ended up having our combined milkshakes, as we had taken off. "What do you think Todoroki will say when we see him?" Ian had asked, not leaving any silence. "I don't know," I shrugged, responding after taking another sip of my drink. "If he says anything, that is." I finished with a quick to not leave her in the lurch. "You do have a point," she said, as she sat with her legs sitting in a bench rest for her books. I leaned over and saw her drawing something. It looked like two familiar people, strangely enough. One with messy hair, and she was still drawing the other person. When she saw me looking over her shoulder, she quickly shut her book to stop me from seeing as a small blush crept its way onto her face. Selfie?" she said, pulling out a camera out of her bag and making a face with it. She smiled as she held up a peace sign and snapped the photo of the two of us. Smiling, of course, from the photo. We got off the train, and we looked where we are. I am not going to say the gate, because, as you can tell, I have really bad speech, and it's, I'm just going to spell it out. It's, Niigata. So I'm just going to say Gata Gate. Let us see out and over the sea at some places. Why was Todoroki here in the first place? Wasting no time so we could be home before school ended, we quickly took a few trains to the hospital. Upon arrival, Yin went up to the front and asked where Todoroki's room was. Before this lady responded with, "Floor 5, room 506. And we made our way up to the elevator before slowly making our way up. Yin looked over me with a nervous smile, hoping that we would come there away with something. I returned her smile before we reached the right floor, and we made our way to the room at the start of the hallway. We peeked inside the small window to see if we were right, and we were. Yin led us as she knocked quietly on the door, letting us in. Todoroki's head slowly rose from his pillow as he looked at us before recognizing us. "Lin? Midoriya? What are you guys doing all the way in Gata? Shouldn't you be in school?" he asked, slightly frowning, and we looked at each other before looking at him. "We came to see if you were okay, and to talk. About the villain you encountered?" I said to him, taking a seat next to him, as Yin faced Todoroki. His expression changed as he looked at us. "I appreciate you coming, but what do you want to talk about? What about the villain?" "What can you tell us about her?" Yin probed. "Her quirk was kind of strange. I remember walking beside an alleyway before I was pulled in, stabbed in the side, and my quirk was disabled. Then she somehow went partly invisible as she shot light beams at me in an attempt to burn me. She didn't know I was immune, though. I couldn't attack because I was deeply wounded, and I could hardly move. She also slashed my chest, but didn't stab it," he explained as he felt where, probably, the slash was. "Not like that. I mean, what she did. Anything weird that she might have done? Was it where she attacked you?" Yin paused. "No, just a murder attempt." Todoroki responded, causing both of our faces to drop. So this trip was for nothing. "But she did say some... God..." Yin cut herself off, as if trying to say something but couldn't get the right words out of her mouth. "Wait." Yin hummed as she saw Todoroki think. "But she did say some crazy stuff like, 'He'll have to come now, and I'm just doing his work.'" We looked back up, losing our frowns. "What else?" I asked. Now, we were on to something.